This might not be Magic 2014, but I might be Rhapsody, so fuck it, let's go into the arena. I managed to pick up enough gold from the previous quest that I finished, which I believe was Hunter or Mage Dominance. Didn't manage to pick up enough gold from my 2 previous arena runs because we've been going horribly in the arena recently. Just absolutely horribly. I believe it was a 4-3 and another 4-3. Perfect. Back into the arena. Awesome. Hopefully we don't horribly lose this time, lest we have to grind more to get back into the arena. So now we have Hunter, Druid, Shaman. And yes, Shaman, not Shaman. We have played both a Shaman and a Hunter in this series, so I must go to Druid? I guess? I don't know. Ancient of War, Sea Giant, Mountain Giant. So I'm not going to have an incredible amount of cards in my hand as a Druid, because I'm going to be using them a lot. Sea Giant is really situational depending on who I'm versing, because I'm probably not going to populate the board an incredible amount, but the Ancient of War can be a 5-10 taunt, or it can be a 10-5 if I think that I have safety to use it in that way. So I think the versatility of the Ancient of the War is going to be why I'm going to be taking it. It's going to be an Argent Squire for an early drop. Okay, so both of the other ones are horrible, basically. Murloc War Leader is alright if you've got a full Murloc deck, but you can't rely on getting a full Murloc deck, unfortunately. And the Hungry Crab is only good if you're versing a full Murloc deck. So I'm going to take Savage Roar, because the other two are unfortunately bad. I'm going to take Bite. I do like the Sunwalker, but I do want the removal rather. Power of the Wild to buff up, hopefully, a bunch of small creatures that I have. Wind Fury Harpy. Now, Wind Fury Harpy, you'd think it's a really good card. Look, it's 6, and it's practically 8-5. But the problem with it is the same problem that I find with all of the other cards in the 6 and up mana curve that have 5 health, and that's that they die way too easily to a bunch of things. There's just so many things your opponent can throw at it, not to mention any kind of just immediate removal spell like your Polymorphs or your Hexes. But on top of that, Fireball, Lava Burst, just there's so many kind of ways to deal with it, and you can guarantee that they're going to at that point. So I might even take the Acolyte of Pain, but the Mark of Nature is also going to be good for the versatility that I'm looking for. I've got a lot of choose. See, with the Power of the Wild, I can choose what to do with it. The Ancient of War, I can choose what to do with it. The Mark of Nature, I can choose what to do with it. The Mark of Nature, I can choose what to do with it. Savagery. Deal damage equal to your hero's attack to a minion. Now, this usually wouldn't be too good, but I have a Claw, I have a Bite, I have Savage Roar, and I have my Hero Power. So I have the ability to buff up my hero's damage a lot. So I can use that as a free removal spell so that I can buff up my hero's damage a lot, bop them without having to hit them with my face, and then hit someone else. So I'm going to be taking Savagery in this case. Bloodfen Raptor for a really good early drop. Naturalize I really don't like. It gives your opponent the card advantage, because you have to spend a card to kill one of theirs. So that's, okay, fine. Equitable trade at this point, right? No, wrong. You give them 2 cards as a result as well. I'm stuck between Power of the Wild and the Claw. The Claw. But the reason I'm going to be taking Power of the Wild here is because I do not have enough 2-drops. And Power of the Wild can be chosen to be a 2-drop. So, that's basically simply it. Savage... Oh, wow, I love all of this. I love everything about this. Power of the Wild, Savage Roar. I want to get another Savage Roar, but I can't rely on myself having enough in the way of things on the field to use it. But I'm gonna do it anyway, because it's fun. Okay, so I've been very critical of the Shield Bearer in the past. I've said it's a horrible card, it's shit tier, it doesn't trade for anything. Useless! Why would you ever put it in a deck? Click. The reason I've done that is because I do have the ability to buff it with the Power of the Wilds. I do have the ability to use it to defend other things that I'm going to use with the Savage Roar, and also because the Magma Rager is horrible. It's 3 mana for a 5/1, which can be killed by 2 mana from almost any other hero. I mean, if you haven't got a way to deal 1 damage, you've probably got a hero power that'll let you do 1 damage. And on top of that, the Grimstale Oracle was also a bad choice. So I just went with another Claw because I didn't like the other 2 options either. So what do we got here? We got another Mark of Nature, and we've got a Jungle Panther. I'm really low on creatures. I have so many spells right now. I'm gonna go with the Jungle Panther. Just for that reason. Swipe. Awesome. Always. Yes. Because you need it for the board clear. Another Claw? Do I dare? I'm going for a very aggressive Priest here. Ooh. I don't like it. I don't like anything about it. Cost 1 less for each card in your hands. There's a really big chance that I get the Mountain Giant and it's just entirely unplayable. But, I don't know. Gonna have to get it. The reason I'm getting so much swipe is because it's basically the only way that, as a druid, I'm gonna be able to deal with having, with my opponents having things on the field. So Nourish is really good. That's gonna allow me to actually draw into some cards, make the Mountain Giant a bit more vulnerable, make the Mountain Giant a bit more viable, are the words I'm looking for there. I'm really, really weak on these 4-drops. In fact, because of that, I'm going to pick up the Golem. Cult Master for the draw, or Soul of the Forest. How many creatures am I even going to have out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm way, way, way too light on creatures. I might even get the Murloc Tidehunter. Yeah, I'm gonna get the Murloc Tidehunter to populate the board. I'm way too light on creatures. Use the Sergeant. Oh god. I'm gonna go with Wrath. Oof. So you might notice we have no 6-drops. Basically, we've got a decent early game, and then we've got a decent late game. It's the bit between the two that's gonna be our problem. So, predictions. I'm gonna be very sad if I go less than 5 with this deck, but I've said that before, and then I went for 4, and then I was very sad, so my prediction is not about how I'll go in the game. My prediction is about my emotions after it. It's always coffee time. Absolutely always. A Cardish Inn. That doesn't make sense at all. It's probably an in-joke for these developers if I had to imagine. King Zhao, Malfurion. I have not been offered any cards. If this counts as a loss, I'm gonna feel real bad. Guys? Blizzard? Usually there's some cards here. We both get some cards.
I must protect the wild.
Oh! Dear God.
Will rise against you.
I am so glad for that. So I'm gonna mulligan to try and get some of the earlier drops that I have. I got a Claw, that's early removal. So his 2-drop can very likely be countered by my Claw. Claw! The only problem with my Claw countering the 2-drop is that I have to do that on my second turn, so I don't get my Blood from Raptor out. We'll do it though.
For the wild.
So that was fine for me. He played a Claw and a Fairy Dragon, and I managed to take it out with only 1 card, so that's 2 for 1 for me. And I get to remove some of the false card advantage that he got. Man. Oh wow, okay, so I'm going to be able to play two things.
Shall not pass.
Although, the reason that I may not have wanted to play the Shield Bearer is because if I didn't have the Shield Bearer on the field, he may have been incentivized just to attack me in the face. In which case, so that he doesn't have to trade, of course. But now he has no reason not to attack. Okay. I do have the Claw, so I can Claw to take that out and then hit that. Claw to take out the Mad Bomber, I mean, and then I can use my Bloodfin Raptor to take out the Murloc Scout.
I wonder.
And I'm going to do that. Am I? Am I going to do that? Or... or... I could Savage Roar and kill everything.
I wonder.
Do I think I'm going to populate the board more than this? Because I've got 2 Nourishes, I might even use one of them to get the Mana Crystals. Do I think that I am going to populate the board more than this? Yeah, I think I do. I think I will, so...
What?
Whoa! Almost the Mad Bomb with that one. Okay, so I'm completely aware of the fact that he can shapeshift, hit the Shield Bearer, and then trade over. But if he does that in his turn, great. Awesome. Really glad that he did. Because I paid almost nothing to kill all of those cards. I mean, the Bloodfin Raptor killed half of one card without really taking any damage. Oh. Okay. Now, this is a point where I will consider doing the Savage Roar, because that will make my Bloodfin Raptor trade for the Chillwind Yeti, and then I'll be able to run my own face into the Mad Bomber. And then Worgen Infiltrate, I suppose.
I wonder.
Anything else I consider? No reason to consider anything else. So, I am behind on cards. I keep making equitable or valuable trades, but I'm on 4,
Where shall I strike?
and he is also on... that's not 4. So I'm going to use this to gain the crystals or draw the cards? Draw the cards. Definitely draw the cards. Okay, that's fine. The reason I did it to draw the cards is because, as you would have seen with the mana curve that I ended up drafting, I had really, like, an incredible amount of lates. But before that, I also had most of my drops being early drops, so I'm fine with... the way that that turned out. I can give it +4 attack, run it into there. But then the Flesh-Eating Ghoul is a 4/3, which I can take out with a Claw and Hero Power. +4 attack.
First kill.
For the wild.
So I've taken a lot of damage. I'm down on 17 versus his 29 +1 armor. But we're equitable in terms of cards. It was a lot of effort to go to get equitable in terms of cards, but because he went second, the amount of cards I had to take off of him, because he got an extra draw, he also got the coin, means that I've basically made correct trades at this point. To be where I am. I really don't want to take damage from that Reckless Rocketeer. Because my option now is to pummel it in the face. In fact, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna taunt that, and then I'm gonna hit it with my
For the
claw.
wild.
Really didn't want to have to do that, because now I'm down on 9, and we're very close to the only health point that matters, that being your final one. But I do have a big dude out on the field. Oh! Apparently I don't have a big dude out on the fields. But I do have a lot of cards now. I've got Bite, if I want to do a lot of damage to myself. So it's looking like at this point that I want to Power of the Wild, get the 3/2 Panther, and I want to taunt it. And then I have 4 mana left over.
I wonder.
Yep, that's my play. Because I do need to be stopping myself from taking the damage that I am at the moment. And then I'm going to do that just to get an armor point and take down one of his. That's it. That's really all I can do. It's kind of prevention plays at the moment. Hopefully, he populates his board and I can take out a lot of stuff with Swipe and I can get a lot of value.
You gotta be kidding me!
Oh, this guy's got to be kidding me. What can I draw into that will help me here? You'll do that and that and that. Indeed. What can I draw into that will help me here? Let's see what I can draw into that'll help me here. Molten Giant. Ooh, that's a free Molten Giant. And that might be a close to free Mountain Giant. But he doesn't have to worry about it yet, because they're not taunting him. I'm gonna do it against this target, so that I still have my taunt up.
Well played. My
Thank you.
thanks to you.
Oh, no, dumb man. I forgot that makes it able to be traded for by the golem. What? Oh, you're gonna swipe again. Okay, so he should have just swiped to the face. It's okay. That's a shame. So, I have a lot of problems with understanding my win conditions when they're not entirely clear. My win condition in this deck is hit him in the face because I've got so much spell damage. So let's actually try and do that. Let's think about banking up all of the cards in our hands while we play the board control game without using any of them. And then just hitting him in the face for 20 in a turn. Or 10. Savagery, I think, only does to a minion, so that's unfortunate.
Malfurion versus Jaina.
Chairman Meow.
You asked for it.
I must protect the wild.
I like this guy. So I'm going to throw back the claw as well. Reason I'm going to be doing that is because I want to bank them up in my hand. Exactly as I said before. I may have just way too many spells to make this deck wieldy. Okay.
The light protects me.
So you can ping it and then trade, or you can hit me in the face and then trade and then ping it. Or you can just...
Fight, maggot!
Oh, wow. This deck is aggressive. This deck is very aggressive.
I fight
Oh, I should have done it the other way around. Whoops. Because the damage taken to the Divine Shields could have been 1,000, it could have been 1, and the Divine Shield dies all the same. So I took an extra damage to my face that I didn't need to. But now, 4 cards, 7 cards. 4 cards, 7 cards. I want to Wrath it for 1 just to draw the card, but I do have Nourishes, so I'm not particularly intent on needing to draw cards. Can I control it without having to do that? Because he's probably just going to ping it and run it into my face. No, I'm going to use... Yeah, I'm just going to do that. It's okay. And then I'm also going to play a 3/2. Just give him more stuff to deal with. So I do have the early advantage in terms of board. And in my hand, I have 2 damage, 2 armor. And then I've got 3 damage, 3 armor from both of these. And then I've got Nourish to be able to draw into doing more of that. Frostbolt it. Yep. Frostbolt Call! Ho! Now, seeing that I have the Savage Roar means that I really want to populate the board and leave them there. So having a stealth creature, like the Worgen Infiltrator or the Stranglethorn Tiger, is really good for that. Because they're just going to sit there and wait until it's time. They're just quietly watching. So I love this. He's using so many cards to try and validate his win condition. His win condition in this situation is Bop. Bop in the face. Do lots of damage. You can see that from the fact that he had the Wind Fury Abusive Sergeant over, beginning, basically. He was opening into a lot of damage rather than it opening into a lot of sustainability on the board. I can Nourish, get the 2 mana crystals, and then use them to summon a Murloc Tidehunter. But as I've said before, I don't think that's as valuable as just having the card draw. So I'm going to do this.
For the wild.
So what would suck to see right now would be an Arcane Explosion or really lucky Arcane Missiles. But other than that, if he uses a Blizzard to clear out all of this, fine. Fine, completely fine. I'm fine with a Blizzard clearing out half of a card and 1 card. Because it's not an equitable trade for him. The fact that he did the Fire Blast tells me that he doesn't, because otherwise he wouldn't have to Fire Blast. Tazdingo? Oh, that's not a Tazdingo.
Do you need a blessing?
Love it.
For the wild.
So now, assuming we keep a lot of creatures on our field, Savage Roar is 6 for us, and then Claw is another... well, we've got 3 from them, and then Claw, and then Shapeshifts. Okay. Do I want to kill it? Well, because he can make trades for 2 of my creatures and still be alive, I think I do want to kill it. Which is a shame. It's definitely a shame. So I can Savage Claw, Savage Roar, Claw, and Shapeshift to kill it. I think that's actually all I can do. While maintaining the minions on the board.
For the wild.
At the same time, I'm not really certain that I'm going to have more minions on the field at any time, so Savage Roar being used there, I'm not particularly stressed about. I do have an Ironbark Protector to come out next turn, but at the same time, I haven't played many big cards yet, so he could completely just have a Polymorph in his hand. completely just have a polymorph. He could have a polymorph in his hand. That's something that is a very likely possibility. You're gonna have to ping that, otherwise... Yeah, there we go. So I'm thinking of using my hero ability and the Worgen Infiltrator and drawing cards so that I can take out the Fairy Dragon. Because he's got so few cards, I can just translate that card advantage into a win.
For the wild.
Mark of Nature, Harvest Golem, Power of the Wild. Awesome. Really glad they fixed that overlapping bug, because I did lose a game, actually, due to the overlapping bug, because I couldn't cast the spell that I wanted to, which was under a creature that would cost more...
Behold the
would cost more than 10 when cast with that spell. Okay, so he's just putting things on the board. Okay. I'm fine with that. I should just put big things on the board as well, then. Because I have more big things. I have bigger things than he has. Is there any way... I can take that out, actually. I can take out the Stormwind Champion by using the Mark of the Nature to give this 4 damage. And then after that, I can follow up with a Jungle Panther and a Harvest Golem. And that's actually what I'm going to be doing.
First kill.
Awesome. I'm fine with doing that. Because it does mean that he is lacking damage to deal with the Ironbark Protector. Rather than just trading 2 things over for it.
Silvermoon shall
Also
not
because if he
fall.
doesn't kill the Harvest Golem, I've got an Ironbark Protector into a Power of the Wild next turn. Hit that. Not entirely certain what's going on here. Something shrewy. So unless he top decked the biggest removal spell of all time, we're fine. We're doing fine. Because we've got Savagery, we've got our hero ability.
Shall not fall.
It's not a removal ability, motherfucker. Yeah. Oh, look, you can't trade across, can you? It's taunted. Chairman Meow? Deal! So, 3, 3, 2. He's got a total of 8 damage there. If he Fire Blasts it and trades them in. Yes, he can't do it. Well played. We've won a game. 1-1 so far.